Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else. Unlock peace and happiness.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning into At the Root of It. My name is Shannon, and on tonight's show, we are going to be talking about fortitude versus aptitude. But before we get into it, I just want to let you know what our mission statement is. Our mission is to create a community of both men and women who are on the journey of self-healing and love. In order for us to be healed and whole, we first must get to the root of who we are, the issues that we carry on the inside of us, and the acknowledgement that we need healing in some areas. So this week, well, before I get into all of that, good evening, sis. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, sis. Okay, but before we get into the show and about fortitude and aptitude, let's go ahead and share. Good evening, Tifa. Good evening. Let's share. Because boy, oh boy, is this information a great topic. I say that every week, but I really believe that. All right. So let's get this started. Let's share the post. Go ahead, guys. Please share. Like, share. I'm sharing right now. I'm sharing on my personal page, and then I'm going to tag people in the post. Because some people just don't know, like I don't know. So let's get to it. Let's see what's going on. I got the same people in my whatchamacallit. I'm going to share in my groups too. I'm only going to take a minute. You hear it. And it's on quiet. I don't know why. But nevertheless, we're going to get this thing out. And I'm almost done, guys. All right. Hola, Didi. Hola, Sister Rita. Share. Tag, comment, everybody. Share. All right. So the information I got on fortitude and aptitude. So when this particular topic came up, it really intrigues me because a lot of times we go off of our talents, not really knowing that. I'm gonna phrase it like this. How many people know so many talented people that's not doing anything with their talent? But how many people know so many people that may not be as talented as the people that you know to be talented, but because of their hard work, tenacious spirit, steadfastness, you see that they're accomplishing their goals and their aspirations. Well, this is what this show is all about. Yes, this is what this show is all about, because there's so many people who are gifted, right? And think and gifted and talented, but think that their gifting is going to get them farther than the hard work that it requires. It takes consistency and persistence in order for you to reach your goal. You have to have a certain willpower, a certain mindset to accomplish your goals. So I found this article, but before we go into that, I want to tell you the definition of both. Okay. So the definition of fortitude is courage, right? But I have another one. I did look up another one. Like, she endured her illness with great fortitude. So it's courage. But let me just get to another. It says fortitude, meaning courage or bravery, is the ability and willingness to confront fear, pain, danger, and uncertainty or intimidation. All right. So when you have fortitude, there's nothing that is going to stand in your way from your goals. You're not going to allow, even if you have fear, because although we think that, fear, we're not supposed to have fear, as we learned in our church, fear is a part of our life, right? We're not supposed to sit in the fear, but fear is a part of our life. We feel fear, okay? But what do you do with that feeling? Because what's the acronym for fear? False evidence appearing real, right? So it's not even real, your fear. You can conjure up in your head all of these situations and all of these circumstances and all of these scenarios in your head, and that will stop you from pushing forward, right? But if you have fortitude, right, you have resilience, okay? Fortitude allows us to overcome our fear and remain resilient in the face of obstacles. Prudence and justice are the virtues through which we decide what needs to be done. Fortitude gives us the strength to do it, okay? So with fortitude, right, there are similar words that line up with fortitude, that you may not know the word fortitude, but you may know the word courage, bravery, resilience, backbone, spirit, fearlessness, valor, endurance, steadfastness, patience, long suffering, forbearance, tenacity, perseverance, resolve, resolution, determination, grit, spunk, and guts. How many of us have taken a leap of faith, have walked by faith and not by sight, off the fortitude, not so much as the aptitude, okay? Now, when I asked God what my end goal was, what he wanted me to do, and he gave me at the root of it, right? It's because I love to talk. So that, when it occurred to me, or when it dropped in my spirit, I'm like, oh, okay. So that makes sense, because I really do like to talk. So what better way for me to walk in my purpose is to speak to people, okay? Because I love to talk, right? But is that a talent? Is that a gift? Or is it just that I'm talkative, right? So with aptitude is a natural ability to do something, okay? So remember when you were in school, right? And they would test you. They would give you an aptitude test, all right? They would test you, and they will see where you are skill set wise in whichever subject, right? So they give you an aptitude test, right? So it says an aptitude is a component or a competence to do a certain kind of work at a certain level. So outstanding aptitude can be considered talent. An aptitude may be physical or mental. Aptitude is inborn potential to do certain kinds of work, whether developed or underdeveloped. All right. Aptitudes are an individual's inherent talents and abilities for learning or doing certain things in different areas. All right. So, like I talked about the aptitude test, it helps people understand the area of interest and the strengths. Okay. So I found this article, and it's in Psychology Today. And this article was talking about how the people who actually succeeds in achieving their goals is not people with aptitude. Okay, it's not people with the inherent skills to do it. Because I think that when we know how to do something, we get kind of lax in it. We don't have that drive to push us. And this is along the lines of what we spoke about last week, in reference to the motivation of things, how we can change our mindset to keep us motivated, how we can actually do a dopamine fast so that we will not, so that we can reset our motivation so that we can accomplish our goals. So this is along the lines because everybody has goals. Like who on the show tonight actually wrote their day-to-day goals out? You know, I know that Tifa did because I was on the phone with her when she grabbed her book. You know what I mean? But how many people actually did it? And so when you do that, how much did you see? What did you actually what did you actually learn or see in this past week? Did you see that you've accomplished more things by writing it down on a daily basis and showing what your short-term goals are? That is fortitude. That is you wanting to succeed. So you are doing anything and everything that you need to succeed or achieve your goals. So this article was written, it was written by George Everly, okay? And the key points in this particular article is finding out that fortitude or the strength of mind is a better predictor of success than aptitude is. Fortitude can be learned at any age, and curiosity, the willingness to be vulnerable, avoiding complacency, and connection to others will help you achieve your aspirations. This is what we strive to do here at the root of it. What we strive to do is to create a community of both men and women who are on the journey of self-love and healing. Okay, so in order for us to get to that self-love and healing part, right, we have to understand what makes us tick. We have to understand that there's some things that hinders us because we have a know-how to do. So because we know how to do it, we don't give it our full 100% as if we were learning something and our lives depended on it, okay? So it says the stories are legend. How often have you heard of people with great aptitude who never lived up to the expectations? On the other hand, how many times have you heard of extraordinary successes achieved by people who possess less than extraordinary aptitude? The good news is that fortitude, strength of the mind, okay? So it has a picture of a brain lifting weights, okay? The fortitude, your stick-to-itiveness, your tenacious spirit is what's going to be able to get you to your goals, okay? Your persistence. When you stay focused, okay? We talked about that last week. When you stay focused on your goals, and no matter how many distractions come your way, regardless, because let me tell you something. I get distracted all the time. But one of the things that I make sure that I do is I know that at the root of it is not Shannon Willis's baby, or, well, it is my baby, but I know that it's God's, right? So I treat it as such, okay? And so I'm not Oprah Winfrey. I was about to show my age. I was about to say Sally, Jesse, Raphael. I'm not, I'm not any of those people. All right. But who I am is who I am. And the lane that I'm in is the lane that I'm in. Right. But does that mean that do I have aptitude or do I have fortitude? I believe that I have fortitude because I'm going to fight. I'm going to push. I'm going to make sure that the things that I need to get done, it gets done regardless. And I'm a one-man show on At the Root of It. I produce, I create, and I'm in front of the camera. I do all of that. I come up with the ideas. I come up with, well, okay, let me take the I out because I know that my source of creativity is from God, okay? I'm not taking ownership, but what I am taking ownership is the understanding that he has given me this ability to do it. And because I trust in him so much, I trust that this is going to succeed, regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what it feels like. And I like that word. I really like that word, Tifa, momentum. You keep your momentum, your fortitude, your stick-to-itiveness. You keep going, regardless of what it looks like. And maybe the month of April is just a month to keep us motivated in this second quarter of the year. We need to understand that, the distractions are going to come and the people, places, and things life is going to happen. What are we going to do with what God or what we even, because we have our own goals that doesn't have anything to do with God, right? But what if, in this second quarter of the year, what are you trying to accomplish in this second quarter and in these next 3 months that that you have to be steadfast on? All right. And it doesn't have anything to do with your innate ability, but it has everything to do with your willingness to go on. All right. Life happens sometimes. And when life happens, sometimes it halts your life, halts what you're doing, and you don't realize that everything fell to the wayside until a month or two later and said, how did I get here? I'm not supposed to be here, Deborah Cox, right? But, okay, I think I'm going sidebar, but let me go. So the good news is that fortitude, strength of the mind, is a more powerful determinant of your achievements, including longevity, than in raw aptitude, natural ability. And the best news of all is that while you may not be able to increase raw aptitude, you can increase your fortitude at any time in your life. So when it gave a summary of what this whole article was about, it said that fortitude can be taught to children. Okay, so hard work, determination, consistency, persistence, steadfastness, tenacity, all of these things can be taught alongside with the natural gifting that you have. We kind of stunt our growth because in a sense, I really believe that the people with the natural abilities won't go that extra mile, or the people that has the fortitude doesn't even think maybe along the lines of your talent and your innate abilities, right? That's right. Put Pastor Nick right there. Pastor Nick, right? Because I will not quit, therefore I cannot be defeated. You cannot be, but that's fortitude, right? That's setting a standard and not allowing nothing, no one to come and penetrate and knock you off your block, all right? And I want to drive this home because, again, like I said, we have a lot of people, including myself, who get distracted. And because I get this message before y'all get it, and I have to really look myself in the mirror and say, okay, do you have fortitude, or are you depending on your aptitude? What are you doing? What do you need to do to change that, to be strong, to know that your willpower is going to get you there? Because when the fiery darts, people don't want to talk about that, but the fiery darts come at you every which way, life starts happening and everything just goes to crap, right? Does your fortitude stand up in the face of adversity and say, ha, 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 I shall not give up. I shall not give in. I will keep pushing. I will keep striving. I will keep moving. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. I'm just going to continue on because my eye is on the prize. I have a goal to meet and I'm going to do it. Opposed to saying, well, I'll wait on that because, I can sing anyway, so I don't necessarily have to go over my beats. I'm just gonna use that as an example, right? Oh, I don't have to do XYZ because I know how to do it. Like I've been doing this all my life. It's like it's innate now. No, that still doesn't mean that hard work and persistence does not have to take place. All right. So for the people that is on that just joined, please share, share, share. Tag people if you want them to see Fortitude versus Aptitude. Okay. And also, I'm just gonna chime in really quickly. I wanted to give a testimony. So I had a customer that got in my car today, right? And about 3 weeks ago, she got in my car and I took her, I think, to the Hyatt. She's from Zumbia, Africa, right? And I gave her my card. And I didn't hear from her, and I didn't know what was going on. She said that she needed me to pick her up. So this morning I got a call from her asking me to pick her up from the airport. And when she got in my car today, her name is Inez or Eunice. Inez, I think. But when she got into my car today, she told me that she had pulled up at the root of it, and her sister began to pray over at the root of it. They've been praying over at the root of it in Jesus' name because we are all doing the work of the Lord. So I just wanted to give you that brief testimony that, and she's going back to Zambia tomorrow, going back to Africa, but she touched my heart so much. So this is something that will help my fortitude to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep striving, to hear those good things, to say, all right, this is not for naught. This is not for nothing. This is for something. Even though I may not see it, maybe I don't feel it sometimes, but I know that it is reaching people that I don't even know that it's reaching. So that's going to make me keep my fortitude to keep pushing, striving, and moving. So I just wanted to give y'all that tidbit, that testimony, because I was so ecstatic that that's how it was. And she was like, "Oh, we love your show." And she has an organization in Zambia where they take care of children, elderly, and the misguided. I forgot the word that she said, but I think it was like misguided or like unprotected, basically, right? So we're all a part of God's body, all trying to do something. Maybe I'm the elbow, maybe I'm the knee, maybe I'm the pinky toe of the body of Christ, but nevertheless we all have our functions that we need to complete, and we need to be fortified with the fortitude to keep going through our willpower, and our want, our desire to reach the goal. Okay, we have to make sure that we keep our eye on the prize regardless. Okay, so it says a remarkable study. So the year 2021 marked the 100th anniversary of perhaps the most influential investigations testing the power of great aptitude. In 1921, Stanford psychology professor Dr. Lewis M. Terman identified 1,521 children who scored 135 or greater on the Stanford Binet intelligence test. The moniker, or the gifted or genius, is typically applied to those who attain a score of 130 or above. So these children who on average were born in 1910 were referred to fondly as Terman's termites. Terman and or his research group followed these geniuses throughout their lives. As you might expect, Terman's geniuses achieved certain levels of success, but there was more to the story. 2 children who were excluded from Terman's study group, being deemed not intelligent enough, actually went on to win Nobel Prizes. while none of the individuals included in the genius group did. But a more revealing analysis of the life trajectories of Terman's geniuses was conducted years later by Dr. Melita Oden, 1968. The 100 most successful study participant, A group consisting of PhDs, physicians, lawyers, and judges, were contrasted to the 100 least successful, which is the C group, consisting of sales clerks, cleaners, and technicians, careers deeming as not utilizing their innate potentials. On average, their measured IQs were the same. So what accounted for the greater successes achieved by the A group? The study director concluded that the members of the A group were more highly motivated to succeed, possessed greater willpower, and were more persistent. Overall, persistence, confidence, and the support of others differentiated the most successful from the least or the less successful. In short, greater success and even longevity seem to accrue to those with fortitude, not aptitude. So what do you guys think about that? The people who took this aptitude test who were deemed geniuses, okay? They were deemed geniuses, but they didn't go far. Why? Because they rested on their laurels. They rested on their laurels because they knew that they were geniuses. They just thought that their inner knowing was all that they needed to get to the next level, when in all actuality, it takes persistence, confidence, and the support of others to differentiate the most successful from the least successful. Okay? So, I want you guys, and this is one of the reasons why I say all the time that we are not here to judge or to compare ourselves with anyone. And the reason being is because when we compete or compare ourselves to a person, you don't know what's on the inside of them. You don't know what's driving them to do what they are doing. You cannot compare where you cannot compete. And we'd be competing with people in categories that don't even align itself with each other. You can't compete when you have something totally different as a goal set than the person that you're competing with. You have, I mean, in any competition that I've seen, whether it's track and field, ice skating, skiing, basketball, the competitors, right? They're not competing against somebody that doesn't have the same aptitude or the same goals, which is to win, right? They're not gonna a skier is not gonna go against a shot putter because what their goals are different, right? It's totally different. So why are you comparing where you can't compete? It doesn't make any sense. You understand what I mean? Because of the simple fact that y'all are on two different paths, doing two different things. There's no competition. There shouldn't be, I should say. All right. So I have some questions that I looked up online, right? And so for fortitude, how do we use fortitude in everyday life? He showed fortitude in the face of hostile society. I pray we have the fortitude to carry on fighting. Fortitude is required to ensure competitive strength. So, in your act, okay. So let me think about that, because it says to ensure competitive strength. So, fortitude, right, is not when you're dealing with the innate. And this is just me. When you're dealing with the aptitude, the innate knowing, right? and you go against somebody who has the willpower to win. That's just like my favorite story about the tortoise and the hare. Okay? So, the tortoise had fortitude. The hare had aptitude. All right? The hare knew that it was fast. It knew that it was going to win no matter what, so it played around. But the tortoise, he knew that his willpower, tenacity, consistency, and persistence was going to get him to his end goal, no matter what was going on around him. Now, think about the tortoise and the hare. Now, I can only think about the rendition of the tortoise and the hare on Bugs Bunny. All right. Now, Bugs Bunny was doing his thing. Thizzle trying to distract this hare, right? He's hopping around. He's lamping. He's in the boat. He's fishing. He's doing all this stuff. While the tortoise is just moving along like nothing is going on, right? Just moving along like it is what it is, right? But the hare, he played around so much because he had aptitude. He knew that he was going to win because he was quick. It was in him. It's innate. And it's not rocket science that I'm faster than the tortoise. So I can play around. I can joke and mess up time and not really pay attention because I'm going to win anyway because I'm quick. By logical terms and by me knowing who I am, which I'm the hare, right? And I'm automatically fast anyway. I'm just going to play around and lollygag because I'm going to win anyway. We all know the ending of that story. We all know that the tortoise actually won. Why? Because fortitude. Why? Because to his tenacious spirit. Why? Because he did not allow distractions to take him out of his zone of slow and easy. Wins the race. While Bugs Bunny is running around circles on him and having a picnic and, you know, swinging his legs back and forth like, oh, you're just getting here playing. He was playing with the tortoise. And the tortoise won. So, in that, I really believe that there's more than one lesson, okay? One of those lessons is that we cannot judge a book by its cover, okay? We cannot look at a person's situation and think that we know exactly how it's going to end up. We cannot call that because you don't know what is fortifying that person to keep steady ahead, right? And somebody who has the aptitude, the know-how, and the intelligence to say, well, logically, it doesn't make sense. Logically, it's not going to work. But willpower supersedes logic in a sense because you don't rest on your laurels with fortitude. You don't procrastinate with fortitude. With fortitude, you keep it pushing. All right. So I just really want to drive home. And please comment at the bottom. Do you guys operate in fortitude or aptitude? Comment in the bottom. Let me know what y'all operate in. Because I believe, me personally, I operate in fortitude. I'm gonna keep pushing, regardless. What are you guys going to do? Let me know in the comments. So another question is, what is the importance of fortitude? Fortitude allows us to overcome our fear and remain resilient in the face of obstacles. I said that. Prudence and justice are the virtues through which we decide what needs to be done. Fortitude gives us the strength to do it. Okay? How can we show fortitude? I have 3 ways right here. Yes, you are, Tange. We are fortituders. I like that. I'm a fortituder too. I'm a fortituder. So, 5 ways to show courage every day. Face your difficulties head on. A surefire way to exercise courage daily is by facing life's challenges head on. The second one is challenge the status quo. Don't be afraid to go against the grain or speak up for yourself or for someone else. And the third one, stand up for your values and your belief. Be fortified. Be, when every time I say every time that I say fortitude, I see fortified, which is like, and maybe I'm thinking wrong. So can you be both? Sorry, was getting Mari to take her meds. Also KD, I'm not sure if you can be both. I mean, of course, because guess what? Michael Jackson was one that had both. He had aptitude, he knew how to sing. It was innate in him since it was a little boy, right? So, and and he had fortitude, tenacity, steadfastness. He didn't move off of his square. He did what he was doing. He was Michael. You understand what I mean? He was Michael. He kept his strength when everybody was making fun of him with his many plastic surgeries and stuff. He still kept making good music. You know what I mean? When he was fighting for causes and when they was ostracizing him for putting blanket outside of the window and stuff like that, he kept going no matter what. So I believe, yes, you can. I believe you can have both fortitude and aptitude. But what is your strongest? Do you operate in your knowledge and your innate ability to do things? Or do you push past even when you don't know what you're doing? Do you keep your head on straight and your eye on a goal even when you cannot see the forest from the trees? Can you do that? Can you not look to the left or to the right and look straight ahead, keep your face like flint, even though you may not know exactly how you're going to make it or how you're going to get there? Or do you stop until you get an understanding of what you're doing because you may not know what's going on? Listen, y'all, this is good. I hope this is helping somebody out there. All right. So Tam said, good question. I was thinking that too. So D, you said you're fortified. You're fortified. Look, D, Tam said, I'm a fortituder. She said, hey, Tange. Tange said, hey, sis. And that's my faith walk. Right. And going on when you don't know. That's fortified. That is like standing up. And the only scripture that I keep coming up with is that, when the enemy comes in like a flood, God lifts up the standard against it. It's a standard. It is a mindset, right? It's the one that says, I'm not giving up until I see my goals. I won't give up. I won't give in. I want y'all to type that at the bottom if y'all can. I won't give up. I won't give in. I won't give up. I won't give in. Even though Tifa put this, and this is Pastor Nick, and he says, and this is a quote, she needs to put his name underneath that, but I will not quit, therefore I cannot be defeated. I won't give up and I won't give in. Please put that down in the comments. I won't give up and I won't give in. I won't give up and I won't give in. All right? Okay, so this question said, how do you explain fortitude, right? Thank you, D. I won't give up. I won't give in. Thank you. Thank you, D. Thank you, Tange. I won't give up. I won't give in. So it says fortitude refers to strength in the face of adversity or difficulty. Eating fried worms might require a lot of intestinal fortitude. When someone has fortitude, it means that they have emotional power or reserves and the ability to withstand adversity. Okay? So listen to that. That's just like what I said. When the devil comes in like a flood, God lifts up a standard against it. It stops it. You withstand adversity, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, okay? I want to really drill that into our heads, okay? Because it's for me too. I won't give up. I won't give in. Because we have to affirm this in our lives. If we do not affirm these things in our lives can go into a downward spiral, right? And we don't want that. We've been there. We've done that, right? But we cannot just depend on our natural talents. Our natural talent sometimes does not open the door. Persistence does. So I'm going to give you another example. So back in the day, because now the 90s is considered really old school. So back in the day, when there was AR execs for the record companies, right? There was so many people that sent in their tapes, their DAT tapes, all of these tapes, you know, to the A&R people for them to listen to their music and to choose them to be the next star, right? Some people who it was already innate, it was an aptitude. They already knew, they had the voice. They knew that they can sing. They knew that they had it. But they didn't persist as much. They wasn't at Def Jam and Rockefeller and, you know, and G Unit's office every day, pushing their tapes, being persistent, being a pest, pushing, right? But the ones that can sing is like, no, my talent is going to speak for itself. But your talent and your non-persistent self, you had your tape at the bottom of the barrel. But how many of this person's tape do they have? The one that has fortitude, the one that has tenacity, steadfastness, and stick-to-itiveness, that wants to be seen. Imagine when they go through that box of tapes, how many of the same tape of the one who had fortitude, you know, how many tapes was in there opposed to the one who had aptitude, who knew that they had the talent and knew that they can sing, but didn't have the persistence to push it. That's a very, I kind of liked that example, right? Because then you wonder, you sitting there like, well, how he get on? I can sing better than him. Yeah, but you didn't do the work, right? That's where it boils down to. You didn't do the work. You didn't put in the work to be seen. You thought that it was just by talent and talent alone that was going to get you where you were supposed to be, where it takes hard work, diligence, consistency, persistence. Nothing falls in our lap without no work. And me, Shannon Willis, had to find that out the hard way. People that's coming on, I want y'all to write in the comments, I won't give up. I won't give in, okay? I won't give up. I won't give in. And the reason why I want you to write that is because that a lot of times we get distracted along the way and we think that our talents is going to make it or push us through when it's actually our fortitude. It's actually our vision, keeping our face as flint, not looking to the left or to the right, not allowing distractions. So look, Tifa put up a scripture. It says, don't allow yourself to be sidetracked for even a moment, or take the detour that leads to darkness. That is Proverbs 4:27, the Passion Translation. Okay? So don't allow yourself to get sidetracked. We can feel ourselves get inside. Okay, wait, I put the wrong thing up. This is what Tifa said. Don't allow yourself to be sidetracked for even a moment or take the detour that leads to darkness. Okay? Tifa said, I won't give up or give in. No, we won't. We are going to be steadfast and unmovable because that's number one, what God told us to be. He told us to be steadfast and unmovable. Okay? And we got to know that we know that we know, like we know our first, middle, and last name, that we know our age, that we know our birthday, we know who our parents are, we know that we're going to succeed, we know that we're going to make it, we know that our goals are going to be met, that we're going to achieve everything that we strive to achieve for. These are the things that we have to say to ourselves, okay? We have to be our own cheering squad because sometimes, just sometimes, you may not have the people, not because they don't want to celebrate you, but maybe life is happening to them and they don't have the time, the energy to clap for you. This is what you do. And I learned this from Tange. Tange saw, and I said this in one of my shows, I think it was last year because I think that's when she shared it with me. And she said she was watching The Breakfast Club and it was the psychologist that came on. And she said that the psychologist said to look yourself in the mirror and give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a hand clap and tell yourself you are doing a good job. Because guess what? You may not hear it from the people around you. All right? And because you may not hear it from the people around you, it may dissuade you from even trying to attempt to accomplish the goals that you set out because you're not getting the accolades that you thought you was going to get. Well, maybe it's God testing you to make sure that you're not looking for the accolades, but you're actually looking for him. Oh, I need a bell. Anybody want to donate a bell? I swear. All right. So Dion said, it's the same thing with athletes. There are some athletes that are just naturally talented, but the one that works the most will be the one that gets the position. So who has the aptitude? So I've been watching some basketball highlights, right? Thank you, T. She gave me a bell. Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Okay, so I was watching some basketball highlights with my friend, right? And he was showing me Kyrie from the Nets, right? And Kyrie's three-point shot is bananas. And he got foot game. He got footwork. So he know how to get out. He know how to he know how to, get out of any tight position and get to where you gotta go. Then we looked at LeBron James, right? And LeBron James and his three-point shots are coming up in the middle and the alley-oops and him dunking and his just pure ability to be able to score and to get the basketball into the hoop. Right? Then we see Jordan, two different dunk styles, two different styles of playing basketball, but one is the greatest of that time and this one is the greatest of this time, right? But they all have the same thing in common. This is another, like you said, this is another of both fortitude and aptitude, okay? They all have that thing together. Fortitude and aptitude, because they work hard on their craft. They practice every day. Basketball is their life, and they don't just let their raw talent just be the only thing that sustains them, because they know that other people can become better than them if they do not set their face like flint and keep their eye on the goal, which is to get that ring, right? So they're going to work out. They're going to go in the gym and shoot three-pointers on every square, and in the paint, outside the paint, across the stadium. Is that what it's called? Whatever. Across the court, on that three-point, on that buzzer. You know what I mean? They practice those things. And that's not taking away their aptitude, their innate knowledge and what's on the inside of them, but they allowed that fortitude to push them to be great. Okay? So that is what I really want to drive home to you guys. Yes, drive and determination. I really want to drive that home to you guys, that it takes fortitude. It takes a tenacious spirit. Don't give up. Don't give in. I won't give up. I won't give in. Anybody coming on, write that. That is the affirmation for this week. I won't give up. I won't give in. Okay? Because that's what the enemy wants us to do. He wants us to get so distracted or so puffed up in our innate abilities that we don't see the victory. Because we don't push past what we already know. That's right, Tifa. Plant your feet and trust God. Plant your feet 10 toes deep. I ain't moving. I ain't shifting. I know that my eye is on the prize. I will not look to the left or to the right, but straight ahead. No distractions. Be swiping them like Shaq. You know, y'all seen that meme? Swipe them away. And trust God in the process. But keep your eye on your prize. If you want to be the next author, write the book. Make it plain. Write it. Even if it takes you years. Like last week, we list in the article that we read last week, the man was writing a book about undistractables or whatever, and the main thing that stopped him from getting the book out, 2 years it took him to write that book. Why? Because he was distracted. Okay? So we have to swipe those distractions away. Like Tifa say, plant our feet and trust God. Know that He's going to lead us in the right direction if we have the willingness to follow. We have to get out of our own way. We got to not be puffed up in our own innate abilities and know that it takes more than just that to be successful. Okay? Successful people, again, like we said last week, successful people don't allow distractions to come in. Successful people never have time for anybody. Why? Because they are on their game. They have a goal. And they're not going to let anyone deter them from their goal, no matter what. So if you know anybody who's like that personally in your life, we need to really word bond, take a page out of that book. I need to be like, I gotta be like Mike, right? I'm just saying. So we have to really understand that when we're fortified, we'll reach our goal. When we act like the tortoise instead of the hare, because again, that actually proves my point in what I said earlier in the show about competing where you don't compare. There was no reason for the hare to actually compete with the tortoise because they were two different people who had two different mindsets. The tortoise, slow and easy, wins the race. His goal was set. His face was set as flint, and he just kept moving. No matter what. We must keep moving no matter what. All right? Be fortified. And have the aptitude. It's not either or. But you have to know what your strengths are. Tifa, let me know. Do you think that you have fortitude or aptitude in your business? Let me know in the comments. So Tifa put up a scripture, and it says, I have strength for all things in Christ who empowers me. I am ready for anything and equal to anything through Him who infuses inner strength into me. I am self-sufficient in Christ's sufficiency. I love that version. Yes, Tifa, come through with the word of God. Because, listen, whether you want to listen to the Bible or not, the principles in there are undeniable, and it helps you live a complete life. It really does. If you have church hurt, I wish that I could pray with you guys that God will heal the hurt for you so that you can open your heart to receive God today, because He wants to fortify you. He wants to make sure that you reach your goals and your purpose in your life, because He purposed us to do things in our life. All right. Everybody has a purpose here on earth. Like I said, I may be the pinky toe. I may be a pinky. Don't nobody want to be, and that's wrong grammar, but don't nobody want to be the intestines. You know what I mean? That's nasty. Don't nobody want to be the eardrum. Don't nobody want to be a nostril. What would we do without a nostril? What would we do without an eardrum? You understand what I mean? Like, we don't want to be that, because it's not being shown, and it's not showing its importance, right? But we all every joint supplies, right? So we all have our own purpose. We all have our own destiny that we must meet, all right? And we have to be fortified, and we have to take the knowledge that we already have in that area and amplify it. So that's with the aptitude, you can always get smarter, right? You can always learn something more, because all you have to do is read and research. Everything is at your fingerprints. Google, tell me everything, and she will. If you have Bixby, Bixby will tell you too. If you have Siri, Siri will tell you too. This information is here, all right? For us to grow, learn, mature, and be the greatest in everything that we put our mind to do, all right? I think you are too. I think you have both too. I do. So you hear this? No. So I pray that everybody was able to receive some type of information about this subject tonight. Because if we don't do anything, we have to keep our eye on the goal. Life happens. Don't, kick yourself. Don't beat yourself up. As Jay-Z says, get that dirt off your shoulders. Come on. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't sing all show, so I had to dust yourself off and try again. Aaliyah, right? Dust yourself off and try again. Never, ever, ever think that you have lost. If you have breath in your body and a willingness to succeed, you will succeed. Be fortified. Stand firm. Stand tall and keep going. I won't give up. I won't give in. Write it. I'm sorry. Or give me heart, y'all. I won't give up and I won't give in. Because at the end of the day, if we don't give up, we can actually see the end of our destination. If we give up, we'll never know if we could actually make it. So don't give up. For all the new businesses that have started since 2020, don't give up if you don't see things going. And I may be talking to myself in this aspect, right? But nevertheless, don't give up. Keep your eye on the goal. Yes. Keep poking at the bag. Yes, keep it. Keep going. Right. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Don't give up, guys. Don't be moved by what you see. That could just be the tactic of the enemy to want you to give up. But be like the tortoise. Be unmovable and unshakable when the distractions are going on in your life. Don't look to the left or to the right. He didn't pay no attention to Bugs. Bugs Bunny was doing all that stuff. He was not paying attention, because slow and easy wins the race. I love you guys. I hope that this has helped you. Dion says, where there is a Willis, There is a way, but I know when she says where there's a will, there's a way. But hey, I'll take that. Where there's a Willis, there's a way, because we're gonna make it. We're gonna find a way. We won't give up. We weren't raised like that. And Tam said, keep poking at the bag, and it will bust eventually, and it will. Keep going, keep striving, keep pushing, keep moving, and I won't give up, and I won't give in. Be fortified, steadfast, and unmovable. Until we meet again, guys, I love you guys to life. Please share, share, share. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, and follow us and like and share on Facebook. We love you to life. Until we meet again, same bat station, same bat time. Love you. Be fortified and have the aptitude to keep going to reach your goals. Until we meet again, guys. Good night. Oh, Dee says she put that on purpose. That's right. Where there is a Willis, there's a way. Love that, Dee. Love it. I love y'all. See y'all next week. Later.
Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else in life.